Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 22 driver career mode with Alpha Tauri, episode number 34 today for the Belgian Grand Prix, season 2, round number 12. If you missed the previous episode, loaded on Monday at Hungary, go and check that out, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel to see plenty more F1 22 driver career mode videos. Coming into the one then, R&D wise, back to the aero portion really. We've got a front and rear downforce. Now the downforce, because we had to purchase that DRS upgrades, I want to balance that out as well, and because it's very cheap we're going to put a minor MGGUH durability upgrade on as well, but you know, all our upgrades have done wonders because us and McLaren have now closed the gap to the top 4 of Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes and Alpine. This is good news for our fight in the constructors with Mercedes. It's probably good news for McLaren in their fight with the likes of Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari and Alpine for those constructors' positions, and Haas have jumped Williams as well, but those bottom 4 teams are the bottom 4 in the championship by quite some way. As we move to qualifying then for Belgium, a track that I do enjoy on the F1 game now that the AI no longer do 15,000 miles an hour through Puon. So yes, fastest lap so far, however, only enough for P10 as well. Gasly is further up, he's like P6 at this moment in time as well. Through the hairpin, always a terrible corner on the pad, and there's just so much understeer, and I can never find that perfect line through that corner. I actually lost a little bit of time on the exit as well, down to Eau Rouge and Raidillon, but up the hill we actually start to gain time again. Now we're going to start to really accelerate through. Not got overtake, remember, so we haven't got the highest engine mode, in 290 mile an hour down the straight in qualifying. We are slightly up though on Sainz and Vettel, the Ferrari, known to be slower in a straight line compared to the Alpha Tauri the Red Bull powered Alpha Tauri, or Honda powered Alpha Tauri I should say, as it is in this career mode at this moment in time. So we go towards Puon, always slightly wide here. Just the nature of the understeeriness of the car always takes you wide for some reason. I don't understand why. We are 2/10 up on our previous best time. Middle sector is always where I lose the time to the AI. Always have done, probably always will do, just as long as Belgium continues to be on the track. So we're still slightly that low on Sainz now, so now 3 and a bit tenths up on our previous best time as we come on the back bit, the back straight now, up on the approach to the bus stop chicane. A little bit wide there, it's losing us a little bit of time, but nothing really to worry about. Breaking into the bus stop, always a tough corner, always understeer. We do control it though. Slightly less out of the bus stop, 43.0 was the time, and that's enough for P9 as well. So another top 10 qualifying, which is good news for us, but we have been out qualified by Pierre Gasly, who qualified as in 6th, but that's good to see from Gasly. Showing you our car. Lando Norris using his upgrades to get pole position while his teammates down in 14th, so we'll see what we can do. From 9th of the grid, it's time for the race today's Belgian Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the Belgian Grand Prix, the race that gave us the maiden victory to the Jordan team in 1998, and in the same team, the phenomenal debut of a young Michael Schumacher. There's always something special just around one of the many corners of this fan favourite circuit. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put, there really is no place quite like it. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Max Verstappen and Gasly, Hamilton, Sainz, Phoenix and Sebastian Vettel, Magnussen, Ocon, Guan Yu Zhou and Ricciardo, Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda and Alex Albon. Bottas and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Anthony Davison joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Thanks, Mark. We'll look to get more points. I think we can from P9. Whether or not how far we get out the grid, I don't know. Depends on if we can get another good start. Race strategies are one stop from soft to mediums as well. We're also going to lower the fuel limit as well to give us a bit more straight line speed as well. Heavy fuel tank. Because 5 lights at the Belgian Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's an okay start. Not able to get the jump on Sainz there. We're going to do a huge dive on there on Verstappen and Gasly, and move up to what is P5. Verstappen all over the back of us. He's starting on the mediums, so you know where everyone else is starting the softs. Look, Russell's been held back here. We can get Russell here. Down the inside, yes we can. A good nice little move up to P4. We had a very good start there. This was all caused by Leclerc getting past his teammate Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull. It just allows us to breeze past Russell as Hamilton gets past Gasly, unfortunately. We are very fast in a straight line, trying to overtake Perez, but unable to do so as we now go down the hill. Can we do this overtake when we go right round the outside? A little bit too deep, the initial overtake there, and Leclerc has a bit better aero through that corner. Jump to lap 4. We've got DRS now, and with the ERS we're able to get up to 225 miles an hour in a straight line. Nobody is matching that top speed except possibly Gasly, as Norris is holding on for the race lead by the skin of his teeth. I think that the Red Bull seems a bit draggy, which is why we're able to keep up with them. You know, we got a good car with improvements, and it's not, considering how close it is on the R&D tree. You know, that's how we're able to keep up with them. Hamilton's in as well. Hopefully Gasly can try and overcut Hamilton, because he did lose out in the early part of the strategy. A good turn in there. Hopefully this is a good stop. 2.5 could be better as well. Not held up though. That's the good news by undercutting on lap 4 onto lap 5. But we do have traffic. A couple of Aston Martins. For Aston Martin number 1 is Lance Stroll, and we're just going to breeze past him on the back straight. But we've got Tsunoda now as well, so we're going to have to lift off, because the Aston Martin and the Williams car are very slow in a straight line in this career mode in comparison to how Williams have been in real life. But get past Tsunoda at the bus stop, give him plenty of room. He's going long in this race as well, so hopefully we can get him to slap a few people as well. But there is Sergio Perez coming out of the pits, and we're a lot closer to Perez, so the undercut has worked a treat on Perez. Might it work an undertreat on the others? The others are stopping a lap later by the looks of it, as we're going to have a good run through Rally on Eau Rouge, up the hill, and on the KEMMEL straights. Perez has got no answer. We're just going to breeze past easily at 223 miles an hour. Next up though is Bottas, and through the middle sector, this Aston Martin is very slow compared to the Alpha Tauri, even if it's there. A little bit of contact there with Perez. I'm not entirely sure. We'll get a little bit of replay. There was a bit of contact, just a little bit of wheel bang, no contact looks like Perez is going to continue on. No front wing. It doesn't really matter anything around here with so little front wings. We are going to get Bottas on the run to the bus stop finally. We give him the space. He tries to cut us to the grass there, but he comes into the pits anyway. I mean, but you know, nice little overtake there. Round the outside, he tried to move move left on me to try and cut me off as I was going past, which was a bit iffy. A bit of aggression there from Bottas in the Aston Martin car. Definitely regretting his move there. As there's Leclerc, slow out the pits, and we breezed past him. And I think Perez is going to get them too. Or they're going to go side by side through Eau Rouge. Now we'll get a replay of what's happening with Leclerc and Perez in a moment. But first, our attention turns to Lando Norris. We're just going to breeze past the 4-year-old up to P2, which will be effectively P1 once Verstappen makes his pit stop. As meanwhile behind us we've got Leclerc and Perez battling. Leclerc goes deep into the corner but then comes back against Perez, keeps his foot in around the outside. Perez gives him the space on the outside there, and will continue round the outside down the hill. And this is what the move I wanted to do on Perez earlier in the race, and Leclerc actually has done that move and he's up to P3. We've got Lando Norris all over the back of us. He gets a good exit out of turn 1. We're then down to Eau Rouge and up Radion. We're just able to breeze past him, and you know, that McLaren, and even I feel that the Red Bull in this career mode as well is a little bit draggy as well. And Lando, you know, he's done very well against the Red Bull so far, but he has no match. We are going to be a little bit cheeky here, and get DRS as well on lap number 9, but we don't really need it because we have such a good, just look at this, we're just able to breeze past even without DRS, just using ERS in a straight line. So we don't actually need DRS to defend for Norris as well. We'll do the same thing though on lap number 10 because he just gets such a good exit out of turn 1 compared to me. But then, you know, we're just able to close so back up to him on the approach to Eau Rouge, and he just got and then on the exit there out of Radion down the KEMMEL straight, he's just got no answer as well. In actual fact, he's going to fall foul to Charles Leclerc, who also has DRS on him now, or he had DRS from me, and Leclerc is up to P2, so that's good for Leclerc. But you know, he wants there. Norris does come back at him though on the approach to the bus stop, and they're going to go side by side through the bus stop, both giving each other room. Norris though takes a bit of curving, and just like the chicane at Monza, that's bad for the traction out of that corner. Jump to lap 11 now. It's Leclerc, not Norris. We haven't given Leclerc hasn't had the exit Norris has out that turn 1. And moving through Eau Rouge and Radion, we should be comfortably ahead of Leclerc. The gap's actually increasing, even with the OS. We have to watch a bit of fuel as Lance Stroll, his car has given up on his penultimate lap, final lap for everyone else, and he's out of the race with an engine failure. No safety car, because I think the FIA are just going to have double weight yellows down there and pick it up after the race. As well as Leclerc's close through Pouon as well as on the exit there, but is unable to make a move. We've decided we're not going to let him past because there is nothing in our contract that says we have to let him past. So therefore, you know, we've tried to help out Red Bull drivers in the past for lower points, but you know, today. Unlike in the past when we were in Williams and helping out Max Verstappen, today we actually had the pace and there's yellow flags through the bus stop, so Leclerc can't actually overtake me anyway through the bus stop and up to the straight line because of Stroll failure. So up to the line we come to win the Belgian Grand Prix, second race win of the season.
Oh, that's the race win! That is the race win! You've been amazing today, mate. You deserve that. Well done.
What a great race then, and a magnificent victory here at the Belgian Grand Prix. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And it's time now for the podium celebrations, and how well deserved is this one? This is a team all about giving talented young drivers an opportunity to race and to win. Alpha Tauri are your winners here today.
Well, I didn't, to be honest, when I saw we qualified P9, yes, I know the car was good in a straight line, but, the fact that Norris and the two Red Bulls just struggled so much through Sector 1 meant that, we had the car today to take us forward. Sadly, Gasly couldn't join us here, because I think, if he hadn't got stuck behind the Mercedes, he would probably be able to join us up here, but maybe, a different setup for Gasly compared to my lower wings as well. To be fair, though, he's not far off my fastest lap. So, the nature of the car definitely suited the track, and Gasly just got stuck behind the Mercedes in the end, sadly for him as well. Max Verstappen only finishing P10. Ocon not scoring. So he hasn't scored in the past 2 races for Ocon. So, and the actual fact, Gasly goes back in front of his arch rival and possibly future teammates. As well. So Verstappen lead has been reduced to 8 points. That would have been 1 point had we given Leclerc the lead. He didn't have fastest lap, I don't think. Constructors as well, we're only a point behind, we're a point ahead of Mercedes, but I don't think that we're going to be able to keep it there. We need to get Gasly's now scored in 2 out of the 2 races. Next up is Monza, home race for this team, home race for Alpha Tauri. So, we're going to look to be able to get some good points there as well. Mercedes, though, have seemed to brought some upgrades, so they are starting to look a little bit better in a straight line. We need to get Gasly in front of the Mercedes. Ferrari as well looked dreadful today. 8th and 9th, even behind Mercedes, but they finished even behind Gasly, so that was a poor showing from, and even Alpine as well was a poor showing as well. The car clearly not suiting Ocon, and Verstappen doing that medium to hard strategy didn't work out for him and only finished P10. So yes, I'm sure we'll look for another good result at Italy before the remaining 3 races this season as well, and try and impress Red Bull as much as possible. However, there was one person who wasn't particularly pleased about my victory for AlphaTauri, being Christian Horner, and there were words between me and Christian after the Belgium Grand Prix as well. So in the remaining 4 races we will be letting Leclerc through as well. You'll have to wait and see what the deal is about that at the end of the season. So that is something to get subscribed about, to see what happens at the end of the season about that. So yes, if you have enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe channel if you're new, see plenty more F1 22 driver promo videos as and when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.